Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Mrs. Evans from Math with Mrs. Evans, where I answer all of your math questions. Today, I'm going to show you how to write an inequality from a number line. So let's get started. So to start this question, you need to know what an inequality is. And a lot of people say, I don't know what an inequality is, but I promise you, you probably do. So an inequality is usually talking about something that does not equal zero or does not equal something. So the definition that I have provided here says an inequality is something that describes the value of a term without using this description of equal. Okay, so what we usually remember this as is less than or equal to, greater than, and greater than or equal to. And a lot of people say, oh, that's an inequality. And it really legitimately just means as an in, as in not, and then equal. So a lot of people say that, they're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So when we start talking about this question, remember this in the back of your mind. So the question states, write an inequality for the graph shown below. Use x as your variable. So I'm going to highlight that because a lot of people forget that. Okay, so once I'm looking at this graph, I see your -3 with this open dot right here, and then the line going to the left. So there's a couple things that I want you to think about when you do this. So when you're looking at this arrow, it is pointing to all the values that are less than -3. Okay, so when you think about that, it's everything that's less than a certain value. So the inequality that I'm going to choose is the less than. Okay, so more specifically, when you talk about these two, you have less than and less than or equal to. Well, notice that this dot here is open. Okay, so when you have an open dot in this question, it's telling you that it doesn't equal 3, but it's everything, all the values below 3. So that can be -3.1, because remember we're talking about negative numbers. So 3.1 would technically be over here a little bit to the left of that. So 3.1 or 3.000 whatever, as many decimal places as you want to go, that is less than 3 or -3. Okay, so when you think about that, it does not include 3. So because of that, I am going to choose the less than. Now, if it was a closed dot, it would include 3, right? So it would include -3. So I would choose less than or equal to, because it can equal -3 if it were a closed dot. But I'm going to get to that in a second. So when you write this, it says to write an inequality. Okay, so to do that, you have to describe this this whole graph, this line graph, this that you have here. So it says use a variable for x. So you can say, okay, well, x, and I already know that I've chosen the less than, is less than what number? -3, because that number is what's highlighted there with that. So let me erase this here. So it really is that simple. So let me write you some notes over here. So when you do this question, if you see the open dot like you have over here, oops, sorry guys. If you have an open dot where you see over here, that is going to be your less than or equal to. So if you have the less than or equal to, it's going to be a closed dot. So whenever you see an equal to, it is going to be this closed dot. Okay, and whenever it is a less than, it's going to be this open dot. Okay, so whenever you see over here, if this guy's an open dot, it's either going to be less than or greater than, less than or greater than. But if it's a closed dot like this, it'll be a less than or equal to or greater than or equal to. So when you do that question, don't forget that.